Hi, I'm Claire from the Kitschy Kitchen, and this is 10-Second Living, where I show you how to do practically anything in 10 seconds or less. And today I'm going to talk to you about rice. Rice is one of the #1 staples in the world for food. It's something we all use every day. It's something that kind of crosses our path all the time, especially if you have a pantry. And it's one of my go-tos. It's a great way to sort of take a small dish and create a meal. You can just saute vegetables and add rice, and all of a sudden it's a dinner. And I love it. And the cool thing about rice is there's hundreds of varieties. Basically, if there's a use for it, you can find a rice that will sort of fit that use. So for instance, these are sort of the 4 different types of rice that I wanted to point out to you today. And there's brown rice, long grain rice, short grain rice, and then sort of representing all the other rices out there, I have a black rice right here. So with brown rice is kind of whole grain rice. It basically has the entire grain. So that includes the germ, that includes all the fiber, that has the entire shell surrounding the grain, that basically has a lot of nutritional value. So that means that with brown rice, it's gonna have a nuttier texture. It's gonna be more, well, granular. It's gonna feel like you're actually biting into grain. And it also is gonna take a lot longer to cook. This is long grain white rice. So white rice is basically that same brown rice, but you just remove the shell. So it cooks a lot faster. It doesn't have like a very nutty sort of texture or flavor to it, and it's a little fluffier. It doesn't take as long to cook. And long grain rice specifically has lower starch content. So if you're making a rice pilaf or you want fluffy Spanish rice or something like that, long grain rice is usually what you're gonna look for because it's low in starch. And when you're cooking with long grain rice, this is the rice that you would rinse off to get rid of any residual starch when you use it in the sink. And also, by the way, when you rinse off rice, you're not getting rid of any nutrients. All it is the starch that's clinging to the grains. And you do that because you don't want the rice to stick together. However, if you're using short grain rice, like this is arborio rice, which is used in risotto, you would never want to rinse this off because the starch is one of the reasons why you want to use it. So with risotto, you want it to be creamy and thick and just really decadent, and that happens because of the starch in the rice. You can even see just looking at it, it's so much more opaque than this other white rice, and that is the starch happening and working. Short grain rice as well kind of tends to be a little bit starchier. So it's great for sushi rice. It's great for rice that basically want to have clumped together. So that's where the starch actually comes in handy. And then with black rice, and this is meant to represent not just black rice, but also red rice, wild rice, basically all the different types of colored rices out there. Essentially, this just means that there's hundreds of different types of rice out there. And black rice has a really distinct flavor. Similar to brown rice, it takes a longer time to cook. And that's the kind of cool thing. You can find all of these sort of unique heirloom varietals that have really interesting flavors that really can add a lot to the dish. So I hope this kind of clarified rice for you. For more ideas like this one, check out my blog, thekitschykitchen.com, and my cookbook, The Kitschy Kitchen, available where books are sold.